Good morning, everybody. So today we are going to learn about is radioactive waste management. How do we manage the radioactive waste which is coming out, basically coming out from, uh, radioactive power stations? Okay, so just a minute. Yeah. So generation of radioactive waste are basically contains radioactive materials, but it is the remnant after the use of for generation of powers, like the material which is left after the spent or the radioactive action that has taken place, like spent in the nuclear reactor fuel, and the waste steams generates the fuel, and processing the contain the radioactivities. The material that must be conditioned here is that what forms a permanent. We need to have a permanent disposable site, which does not leave any adverse effect on the environment, or any damage to human life and property. Okay, so various operations of nuclear fuel, like fuel cycle, like harvesting it, even mining radioactive material will have some leaching of radioactive material into the environment through water bodies and through dust particulates into the atmosphere. Nuclear generation, power generation station will also have certain influence on radioactive material left into the environment through using water as a coolant. So water being used as a coolant in nuclear power station will have certain residue of radioactive materials into the water bodies, and when they are left into any water bodies in the open environment, it will have an adverse effect in nature. So various processes in industries and defense machineries and medicines, even scientific research, are the areas which harvest radioactive waste. Okay, so the amount of waste coming out of the nuclear fuel cycle is very small. Okay, so compared to the amount of waste which is generated or that is unless the dangerous radioactive waste that is there, although they are pollutant all by itself, and may be less undesirable for those who, from fossil fuel generators. Like for this is other reasons, such as economy of operations, and there are potential of an enormous electric energy production inherent in the nuclear energy generation technology. And since this is more related to this, we need to always step up the level of how we are going to contain these radioactive materials. Now, what are the various types of waste that we get from radioactive materials? What are the waste material types? So we come across very low level waste. Okay, enormously low level waste materials which come out are basically uh, radiations like alpha beta radiations and all those things. Then we have low level waste material, and then we have intermediate material and high level waste material. Okay, so, low level waste material, which is green, is more which in volume and less in damaging aspect. Whereas, if you have intermediate level, it is about 7% intermediate level waste is generated in nuclear power station, and it is comparatively quite less as compared to low level waste material. And then you have very high level of waste material which is highly corrosive or damaging to the organic matter in nature, will have about will contribute about 3% in in the volume, but will have a very very adverse effect. Okay, so it doesn't matter how minimum these volumes are. Okay, what matters is how much these waste materials are, going to affect your bodies. So low level waste materials like consist mainly of, demolished materials such as, concrete, plaster, bricks, metal, wall piping, etc., producing, during, dismantling and operation of a nuclear industrial site. Suppose there is an industrial site which has been decommissioned from its operations, and when we are, dismantling these nuclear site, whatever fixtures that were used for, utilizing, harnessing radioactive energy, like, plumbing materials, screws, and everything, because everything which comes in contact with radioactive material will get the residual radioactive element into it. Okay, so that residue itself has certain level of, danger, put certain level of danger to human health or organic matter, right? So even if, when we are, demolishing these sites, the bricks, the mud, the metals, the plumbing, and any material which is utilized in that nuclear power plant will have a low level waste material left in them. And if disposing them in will not taken in a proper precedence, then it will have a long term, effect on the nature as well as on the human health, because even though it is a low level emission which is coming out from these, waste materials, but that low level emission for a, prolonged period of time will have an effect of accumulation in your body. And when it has an accumulation effect in your body, you will start eventually, not immediately, but eventually you will start feeling the effect of these, toxic materials in your body. Like you may, you may face hair losses, or, certain skin disease, or some certain medical issues coming up with eventual period of time. Okay, then naturally occurring radioactive materials are also those things which, leaves low level of radioactive waste into the atmosphere. Now, not it is not harmful to human or environment. It is not very harmful for human and environment. And recycling and reuse as a byproduct can be, advisable in these areas. Now, then we have low level waste material, that is electricity generation, diagnosis and treatment of diseases, medical researches, testing of new pharmaceutical drugs, then non-destructive testing of, airplanes and, bridges, smoke detectors, hardening of materials like hardwood, flooring, breeding of new varieties of seeds with high crop yield, eradication of insects, pests, food preservations, and so on. Okay, so all these things will have, certain level of radioactive emissions in them. Then there is, and even in those substances, we have two categories. One is, just hold on. Yeah. So we have short-lived radioactive uh, things, like which has very short period of emission, and then when there is a suitable of which is very suitable for shallow burial, and with a very shallow burial you can bury it, and over eventually over a period of time it will lose its radioactivity and it will be safe for the environment. Okay. Now, then we have a low level, waste storage pit at the national, Nevada national security sites. Here, this is a picture which shows that these are low level of, radioactive waste materials, which is very large in volume but has a very low radiation. And these pits, shallow pits, can be dug, and these waste can be disposed of here and cover it for a certain period of time, and eventually it will lose out its radioactivity. Okay. Then intermediate waste materials will have will contain high amount of radioactivity, and some compared to shielding, and it requires certain amount of shielding in it, like resins. There will be a gooey material which is coming out from the radioactive element, then chemical sludge, metal fuel, clogging. All these things will have a low intermediate level of waste materials, and they are highly high amount of radioactivity in them, but it requires a shielding in it. So the intermediate low level waste, like some low level liquid waste from processing plants, are discharged into the sea. It includes radionuclide, technetium 99, which is highly corrosive. Then you have high level of waste materials, that is arises from the burning of uranium fuel in the nuclear reactors. So nuclear reactors having once the nuclear fuel has been burned out completely, the core will have a high level of radioactive emissions in it, and it will be a very high level of waste material with high level of emissions in it. So producing during the process of nuclear reaction, these fuel that is mostly used for nuclear power plant is stored in a steel lined concrete pool filled with water, or in an airtight steel or concrete, or and concrete both together type of containers. Okay. Lead containers are also used, to have a lining over it. Now, storage pond for use of fuel as the, thermal oxide processing plant at the United, Kingdom, in Sheffield sites. This is a Sheffield site where they are storing this. There's a pond here there for storage of the nuclear fuel. Okay. So, when we are talking about waste disposable in the absence of reprocessing it, the spent fuel is considered to be waste, right? So, and must be prepared for permanent disposal in separate facilities. So, in addition, the waste stream from spent fuel reprocessing must also be disposed of. Many nuclear powered countries from like United States, China, India, Finland, United Kingdom, Germany have research and technology and geological locations for disposal of these sites. So they have identified certain geological locations to safely dispose of these nuclear materials. Now, geological location for disposal sites, but not a this is not a permanent disposal site, and is in use anywhere in the world, and it can be used anywhere in the world. So it is not a permanent sites, but they have located through even GIS techniques are being used to find out suitable disposal sites for nuclear waste. Now, waste are being kept either on cooling pool or above ground storage cases, and these cooling pool or will have will be covered with water storage and facilities, so that it does not, it limits the radiation. Now, waste conditioning is that it is spent fuel must be sealed into containers, and there are expected to remain viable in a stable disposable sites over centuries and even millenniums. So it is presumed that these grounds are stable disposal sites for few centuries. Now, though no permanent disposal sites is currently operational, the preparing of conditioning of spending this fuel for disposal is expected to follow up the same basic processes. Okay, so after storage that is above ground of 1 of the 5 years, that is the fuel pin are to be removed from their reassembly at the end, and manifold and components within the fuel assembly that contains the fuel are to be removed, and the pin packed into a dense lactic uh, corrosion resistant steel. So corrosion resistant steel, it is put into it, and then it is encased. Okay, so a cover is to be weld on the containers, and with a overpack over it. So these cover and lid eventually makes it complete packed. So whenever there is a nuclear waste, it is always cubicle and brick like containers, and it is compressed, packed in a less corrosive steel, and it is shielded in several layers. So some waste is generated every year in the form of fusion product, and that solution and arises from reprocessing fuel from nuclear weapon production. Reactors also generate this type of waste. So on a glass making process for conditioning, the waste is operational on an industrial scale, like for example in countries like France and United Kingdom. Even in Japan has been tested that many other countries, that is waste solution is completely gone, and left behind that is that the nuclear fusion product and the solid residue, so which is heated until all the constituent of nitrate salt have been converted into oxide. So these oxides are then put into glass fuming oven, and mixed with materials that will produce borosilicate glasses, which is again we can use as glasses which are resistant to heat. Okay, forming an oven and material in borosilicate glasses, and the fusion product oxide dissolve into the glass as it is formed. Okay, so this glass melt is subsequently poured into a steel container. Okay, in in a diameter and an approximate about 1 meter to about 40 inches, where it is solidified. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so just a minute. Yes. So we got this that it is then contained into borosilicate glasses, where it is solidified. Now once converted with overpack of Dontonite clay, the solid container like block is ready for disposal. So geological disposal is like waste disposal method that is currently being planned by all countries and nuclear power plants, and it is called as a geological disposal. And this means that all the contained nuclear waste are to be disposed out in a mining cavity deep underground. The shafts are to be sunk into solid rock stratum with tunnel corridors and extending horizontal from the central shaft region. The tunnel room lately formed the corridor, and the waste would be in place of used robotics in devising it. So in a drilled hole into the floor, and these rooms are after such boreholes are used to as a corridor for a backfield. Now when the entire operation has been completed, what happens is the shaft too would be back filled and sealed off completely for a period of time. The risk of nuclear waste disposal is that when a holistic view is taken from the nuclear waste disposal process, and the risk seems extremely small, yet among the general public, yet it is among the general public the risk is still pertinent. So these risks are one of the most feared aspects of nuclear cycle. Now, nuclear waste remain retain its very intense level of radioactivity for hundreds of years. Okay, so but after several thousand years, it has gone. Remaining radioactive will still persist, and so that's why it is so problematic to dispose of radioactive materials. So the remaining radioactive material, while is still persistent, is at a level of comparable to that of an equivalent quantity of a natural uranium ore. So natural uranium ore is radioactive ore, but it is still uh, there in the nature without affecting much into the environment. So this separates the safety problem into two time period, that is first millennium, during which it is crucial to ensure the tight retention of the waste in the repository or the depository section. So it is very important that the first few million of first million years, that these disposal waste material should be completely out of reach from any uh, exposure. Okay, then we come is that the crucial is that it should be tightly rendered for of the waste in the repository, and the subsequent period, which is the next period, which during is necessary only to ensure that any release that occurs in a small and a slow process, that is maybe possible route for emergence of radioactive waste to surface would be the impairment of the groundwater. So into the ground disposal sites, followed by corrosion of the waste containers, dissolving of waste materials, and discharge of these resulting solution into the environment. However, that is the second stage. So the water migrates slowly into most rock formations, and the contrary to the popular belief that may that any dissolution of waste would quickly lead to high level contamination. Only low level contamination are projected in even the worst case scenarios. Okay, so the migration of radioactive species that have been observed to shallow burial sites for low level radioactive activity, that waste is not an indication that similar migration can be expected for a high level waste located in a repository deep below the under earth. In addition to this nearly soluble of waste material from engineering particular corrosion and resistant containers provides extra protection against such dispersal. So moreover, most of the dispersal problem in a shallow disposal site is caused by biochemical products that would not exist in deep formations. So finally, it can be seen that a great deal of care is to be taken, expanding in the selecting the sites of the repository. So, various conditions are mandatory. That is, repository must not be near populated area. The rock stratum selected must be very deep. That is about 100 meters to 1,000 feet deep and more. Well, it should be a more deeper rock stratum, and as much as it is possible, the naturally sealed from the aquifer. It should be naturally blocked off from the aquifers which is there in those areas. So it should always avoid the ground underground water bodies that can be in those areas, and any discharge of water table into the surface water should also be slow in these areas. So furthermore, the site must be in a tectonically inactive zone. So a tectonic active zone, it will have it will eventually break out and have a large amount of seepage. So you should always have for a site selection, you should also consider the tectonically inactivated zone, so that the earthquake will not break the seal of the containers. The risk of the high level waste burial is almost certainly smaller than the risk of a reactor accident, and even smaller than the risk of arising from an improper management and mining trailing in the process. So neither is the siting of repository must be handled with utmost sensitivity, and confirmation of acceptable hydrological and geological conditions should also be taken and must be at a high consideration to be validated. Okay, now there are many acceptable sites and principles, but confirming the acceptability of any one of them is a large and expensive technical undertaking. So both political and technically site selection is probably the biggest problem in nuclear fuel cycle, so causing the post prominent reversion and even the termination of many of these sites. Efforts around the world have been taken place. um let's go forward with the slides I have been giving. Okay, now these ponds, when we are disposing of these things, these ponds, let is about 7 to 12 meters deep. The multiple racks are made for metals with neutron absorbers and incorporated in it. So the circulating water body shield and cools the fuel, made a thick reinforcement concrete with the steel liners. Method considered for nuclear waste disposal is that geological disposal, ocean dumping, subductive method, that is shallow graving, simulation on method, that is sealing it off and letting it rest for a period of time, and there are other ways which researchers are still on the other ways of disposing of the radioactive materials. Now deep geological disposal, like a key idea was that the long term disposal would be the best carried out by identifying a suitable site at which the waste would be buried at process called deep geological disposal. So it must be located at a depth of about 200 to about 300 meter below the ground surface, to avoid the effect of erosion on and human activities on it. Then you have geological dumping. Here, the geological dumping means the disposal of nuclear waste under, a continental crust or under the seabed. So it provides natural insulation system that is, stable over thousands of years to contain long lived radioactive waste. So low level radioactive waste near, surface facilities or old mines are also taken in. So high level radioactive waste materials in, host rock that are crystalline or argillaceous are, also part of, disposal techniques. Now, ocean dumping, a good alternative and at least, least expensive method is ocean dumping. In this method, the nuclear waste is dumped into the ocean, and for many years, countries like USA, UK, France, all, developed, militarily developed countries have, adopted this method of dumping their nuclear waste. Now, banned by most of the countries due to the scientifically proved that it is a bad effect on a oceanic life or marine life. So it has been eventually dumped by many of the countries for the environmental health sake. But Russia continues to dispose of its waste into the ocean because it has no other alternative methods on its ground. Now, subjective, waste disposal is, it is one of the, single viable disposal method which, ensures non-return of regulated materials to the atmosphere. So, subduction is a process where one tectonic plate slides beneath the another one, and eventually it absorbs into the mantle. So it forms a high level radioactive waste in a, subducting plate where it will be disposed of through the mantle. Then you have transmutation of high level waste material, that is radioactive waste transmutation device consisting of nuclear reactors and accelerators of, charged particles are used to destroy radioactive by neutrons. So the fusion fragments can be, transmuted by neutrons captured and beta, decay to produce stable nuclides. Okay. How do we recycle it? Direct disposal to a geological repository takes about, about 3 million years. That aqueous reprocessing or to remove only uranium and plutonium will take about 9,000 years. So the advanced electrometallurgy, reprocessing, which removes uranium and plutonium and minor antrides, together for recycling, is a fast reactors. So it takes only about 300 years. That is, not commercially viable because it takes a lot of, so resources in terms of financial and mankind, so to do the process. uh, this is a Kadan Kalam nuclear power plant, and here is the disposal images of these power plant. Let me enlarge it. Okay. Okay, so these are the water chambers where it is collected. So once it fills up, it is one tank gets filled up, the other one is filled up with water, and it is filled with, and they have a thick concrete walls along the area. Okay. The thing that we need to be very cautious about radioactive material is that disposal of radioactive waste is a complex issue. All okay. So not only because of nature of the waste, but also because of the stringent regulation structured for dealing with the radioactive waste material. So it is very structured technique only. Only but with very skilled people can only handle these waste materials. So India has achieved self resilience in management of all types of radioactive waste materials. Now, on the ongoing efforts of upgrading the technology to minimize the radioactive discharge is also a rising issue in the development. So, somatic effects that is primarily suffered by the individual exposed is like cancers. Genetic effects is like it's suffered by offsprings of the individual who was exposed to these radioactive materials. Teragenetic effects will be birth defect, parental defect, or are teragenetic effect that of radioactive waste material exposure. Environmental effect that you can see is that Chernobyl disaster that we I keep on addressing whenever I am talking about CBR and attacks and CBR and emergency cases, or whenever I'm talking about nuclear disasters. I am always saying that this Chernobyl was a milestone, eye-opening situation for former USSR, where the city of Chernobyl was facing this crisis. So overnight, the entire city was evacuated. It is now in the country called Ukraine, which was former part of Russia, USSR. Now it is Russia after the disintegration of USSR. So after the disintegration of USSR, just Chernobyl, disaster came into the light, furthermore clearing the what has had actually gone, wrong in that nuclear power plant. And still that city is a dystopian city. Nobody lives in it, even if there are many researchers and even travelers, enthusiast travelers who go to those areas, but they are not permitted to live in that region for over a night. And even if you go and visit that region, you are not supposed to stay back in the city more than 4 to 5 hours, so the exposure is minimum. So the more longer the exposure is, the higher the nuclear toxicity will happen in your body. So that is it, Chernobyl disaster. There is a series, web series also, which is coming on this Chernobyl disaster. Must watch, so that you can learn from it that what has actually had happened, and how a human mistake can turn out to be a grave disaster, which not only affected that city, it also affected the eastern part of the European countries, which did not know what has happened in that part of the country. Because of the policy of Iron Curtain followed by the former USSR, this information of Chernobyl disaster was not out for quite a period of time. Later, when birth defects, genetic defects, pterogenetic defects was seen into the animals, plants, and people around in those areas, in the bordering areas, then they came to know that there is some nuclear effect that has happened in that part of the country. Radioactive particulates settle on tree killing areas of forest. So, radioactive particulates also kill out the trees that are there. So, this is all for your radioactive waste management, and how, if you are not disposing of it in a proper manner, can turn out to be a disaster all by itself. Now, I would request all of you to go to your LMS and take the quiz for the day. Thank you.